Hey, church family. My name is Noah, and I have the privilege of sharing today's devotional thought with you. So, to start off, imagine something with me. Let's say that you're at an event with a group of people that you don't know. If you're anything like me, you tend to observe the people around you. How long does it take you to pick up on that one arrogant, full of himself fella who is just bragging up and down the wall about how great he is? Well, today we are in Mark chapter 12, verses 35 through 44, and Jesus spends some time talking about these type of people, but also a different type of person as well. Let's get into it. We're going to start in verse 38. As he taught, Jesus said, "Watch out for the teachers of the law. They like to walk around in flowing robes and be greeted with respect in the marketplaces, and have the most important seats in the synagogues and the places of honor at the banquets. They devour widows' houses, and for a show make lengthy prayers. These men will be punished most severely." Jesus sat down opposite the place where the offerings were put and watched the crowds putting their money into the temple treasury. Many rich people threw in large amounts, but a poor widow came and put in 2 very small copper coins, worth only a few cents. Calling his disciples to him, Jesus said, "Truly I tell you, this poor widow has put more into the treasury than all the others. They gave out of their wealth, but she, out of her poverty, put in everything, all that she had to live on." Church, this passage comes down to the difference between the religious leaders and the poor woman when it came to their giving and their attitudes. The religious leaders are overrun with pride in themselves. Pride can be defined as a deep satisfaction with a person's own achievements. Hear that, church? Their own achievements. How many times have we looked at something and said, "Yeah, I can do that all by myself"? And when you achieve something, do you seek out fame or do you seek out recognition for it? We need to recognize that anything we do, anything we have, it all comes from God. Pride has this really crazy way of tearing us away from God by telling him that we don't need him in our lives. We can handle it all on our own. The religious leaders are reflected this way because Jesus sees them for who they really are. A group of people so wrapped up in themselves that they do not have the time nor the focus to see what God is doing. Ultimately, church, if we pursue this kind of an attitude, it will lead us to destruction. But worry not. There is a good character in this story. Let's take a look at the poor woman. Let's take a look at the opposite of pride. Let's take a look at humility. Now, if we take the definition of pride and turn it around, we see that humility is recognizing that we are of low importance, or more specifically, that there is something more important than us. When we humble ourselves, we recognize that we are not the most important thing in the world. When we start to have an attitude of humility, we see that everything we have is not our own. Understanding that we can't measure up to God helps us to emphasize our need for him. That's what the poor woman recognized when she gave all that she had. She knew that God had blessed her in the past with the money, and she understood that God would continue to bless her if she just trusted him. So she gave all that she had. Jesus noted this to the disciples when he said that the woman gave all that she had, whereas the religious leaders had only given a small, some could say insignificant portion of what they had. Ultimately, this attitude of humility, if we choose to pursue it, will lead us to a deeper relationship with God. So the question I want to leave you with today: are you that arrogant fella in the room who's bragging up and down the wall about how great he is? Do you look to God and say, "Nah, I can do this on my own," or "Nah, you haven't done anything for me"? Or, and this is the correct way, do you look to God and say thank you? Do you thank him for all that you have and are willing to give every area of your life over to him with no limits? I hope that this word can provide some encouragement for you as you go about the things that you need to do today. Keep drawing closer to God through humility, and he will draw closer to you. Take care, friends. Have a great day.